Right. Looks like we are live. Although I'm not getting any feedback on my bitrate, so hopefully you guys can actually see what's going on. Alright, so I'm almost finished with this area. I originally was going to finish it this morning, but we switched back to GitHub from Plastic, and the switching process kind of blocked me this morning. So, but I was able to, or I was able to help Ali figure out what was wrong in GitHub, and by help I mean I sat there and he told me to do things, and eventually was able to figure out what was causing our GitHub to break. Alright, so this is something I've been meaning to do for a while. Let's get rid of the water. And that is figuring out the inside of this house a little bit better. Hey, Big L. How's it going? Alright, so I've got some cleanup to do. There's this ramp thing here. It doesn't work. I think what I'm going to try to do is turn this kind of like side room here into a ramp that goes down and meets up with this ramp. Don't know if it'll work, but that's kind of my game. That's my game plan for today. Happy Monday, my man. Happy Monday to you as well, man. It's going pretty well today so far. Hope your Monday's going pretty well as well. Sorry, I need to... Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Right there. Hopefully everybody had a nice, relaxing, or fun weekend, depending on what your plans were. There we go. Huh. Looks like I had some ProBuilder flukiness going on there. Odd evening, Paytas. How's it going? Oh, my lord. Oh, God, well, I don't know why, but like literally 5 minutes before I started the stream, I started yawning, and I'm like, oh great, now I'm gonna yawn throughout the stream. So I apologize. This may be the yawning stream. I will attempt not to, but no guarantees. It's a Monday. That it is. Alright, let's attempt to clean up this geo. I normally just wait until the Maya cleanup, but there we go. That's better. That isn't the heck is going on here. Oh, there is again some extra weird Pro Builder bits. Thanks for making me yawn. You yawn. You're welcome. I'm good like that. All right. So, if I remember correctly, oh yeah, this is definitely made of multiple parts. But this is no longer centered, so... Let's recenter this again. Fairly certain you guys watched me move this to this current position on one of my past streams. That was like months and months ago at this point. Actually, let's just leave it like that. What kind of building is this? So this was a building that I'd been playing around with in kind of the back area of the marketplace. I don't know if it's still going to be that, but it may have some encounter space in it. Although it may end up getting adjusted more. But there was this kind of courtyard, because Ali had been mentioning how you wanted some buildings with kind of that central courtyard, which is fairly common over in the Middle East and North Africa. And actually, I think in the Mediterranean as well. I think the Romans used that as well. But you have the rooms all kind of off the central courtyard, and it kind of helps keep, you know, the building a little bit more cool. But it didn't work right here. I tried because I wanted to end up building into a basement area. I think I want to. I think I'll eventually expand this a bit, but I wanted to clean this up, and then I need to punch some windows in this building and the rest of this building, because I'd started it a long time ago and never finished. And then do some more roof treatments, which I was doing throughout the weekend. And like I mentioned a couple minutes ago when the stream started, I was hoping to have this and this done this morning, but we switched back to GitHub as our source control, and Ali and I had to sit down and figure out what was causing all the prefabs to break. And by me sitting down, it was really me just sitting there and Ali telling me things to do. So that he could diagnose what was the problem. And I just kind of played cheerleader. Okay, so this is going to have to change slightly. But the good news is he was able to figure out what the issue was, and we are able to use GitHub again. Or what is the intended use? Again, I was debating kind of refining it into maybe like a guild hall or a guild housing of some kind. You know, more refined, obviously. I was thinking of maybe putting some arches here, possibly some windows coming down, stuff like that. But it may end up being, like I said, used as an encounter space of some sort. From the last time we talked about the building. Hold on. Also, I have discovered things about ProBuilder that I did not know back then. So it's always good. Because this was a while ago at this point, now that I'm really thinking about how long it's been since I've touched this. Alright, let's actually delete all of this for now. And we'll work from here up. Okay, I was using 3 as my hallway. Just a spot. And I've got some funky... there's probably going to be a lot of weird overlapping and stuff because I've got a bunch of mesh pieces here. Hey, Sea Charts. Hey, Dorgoth. Sorry, I had a bad habit of typing small little replies. I should do more paragraphs for chat. Honestly, the short replies are way easier to process. At least for me. I don't know how other people prefer it, but for me, it definitely makes it easier to read at a glance. I may end up making the door over here. Let's see. I think this might actually work. Okay. Require me to close this off. Shit. So sorry. Keep it PG-13. I guess that gives me one F-bomb. Although that wasn't the F-bomb, but... Alright. So, group that. Here we go. So this is off just a pinch. And swear, Pro Builder and its selection is fun. Come on. There we go. Hey Nick, how's it going? Guess I can move this up. I'm doing pretty good today. Cannot complain. Man, I don't know if it was me resetting the UVs on this, or the UVs were just that broken on this. Again, it's been a second since I actually used this file. Or not file, but like this level. This building. There's the word I was looking for. Oh my god, my brain. Alright. Those down there. Collapse those vertices, and then just bridge all this stuff back together. There we go. that. Hold on, there's gonna be a little... I think what I'm gonna end up needing to do, because of these weird angles, is I'm gonna have to go through and sew these two together. Let me see where the seams are. Or at least the interiors. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to do that, but I think I'm going to try to do it where I'm just going to... No, I'll do the whole thing, I guess. It's just going to be a pain in the butt to sew together. Okay. Let's save just in case something horrible happens. And we'll merge those together. So it's attached. Yes, come on. There we go. Alright. Let's just delete these. It's going to be way, way, way easier. Actually, hold on. Let's merge these. Ah. Hey, Sucker, how's it going? It's going pretty good here. Alright, so... the easier way to merge this stuff is going to be to better just bridge the gaps. Actually, this one will work better. Do I have a face? Yes, I do have a face. Better. You know what? I think I'm going to extrude this, so I should probably extrude this now. Because I'm just going to end up having to delete the face that I would have made right there anyways. That's annoying. So, mess that up. No, that actually looks pretty good. Then we'll just branch this stuff back together. Like so. Okay, so that part is fixed. I think these edges, yeah, need to be collapsed. Looks like I got that one. And we need to do the same thing over here. Good, just enjoying a nice rum and coke. What are you all working on? That sounds nice and relaxing. I prefer just the rum, not the with the coke. I'm not a big fan of cola syrup. I think it. I don't know why. I never really enjoyed the flavor. I think it was because my parents would always give me cola syrup when I was sick, so I think it's just like, I don't know, a weird mental like correlation, something like that. How do I want to do this? Do I really care if those are? No, I think it'd be fine if I just do it this way. Famous last words. I could take the time and fix that corner and have this nicely lined up, but this should be fine. Okay, so those are good. It's all attached. These should all be attached now. And I think these need to be attached. And I don't remember if... Okay, that seam is good. Okay, I may have gotten all the seams, but I'm gonna assume at some point I'm gonna move something and it's gonna break. Yeah, Trip. I am doing pretty good. How are you doing? I don't know about that angle. I'll have to see it when we run through it, if that angle feels weird. I think it's going to be a little funky, but not too bad. So back to the what am I working on? I am finishing off the thing that I said I was going to finish off this weekend. I was planning on finishing it this morning. So I have these last two buildings to kind of, do the kind of roof pass on. I guess I could do some more roof stuff over here on these. Oh, I forgot this one too. So I lied. I have three buildings that I have not put windows in and finished the roofing. I was planning on doing it this morning, but we switched our version control back to GitHub. And then I had to wait to sit down with Elise so we could figure out what was going on with all the prefab. Wasn't the prefabs are breaking, but it was the metadata that was causing it. And we had to figure out what the problem, why the metadata wasn't syncing. And we were able to figure it out. And by we, I mean Ali was able to figure it out, and I sat there. And pretended like I was helping. Let's see. Good here. Tacos, Coronas, no work. Tacos and Coronas sounds like a good time. That sounds really nice. I agree. Could definitely be worse. Let's see. Yep, that was my spots. It's really exciting to see Night Harbor get fleshed out. Oh yeah, it's been fun to watch it, and it's really fun. As I flush more stuff out and I'm working on stuff, just kind of watching Blue work on the docks area over here. So it's nice to see everything coming together. More and more. I still need to actually finish cleaning up the model that I exported for this, and then I want to play around with a shader a little bit and see how we want to handle the gem. I think I'm going to try doing it similar to how we were playing around with the crystals. If you guys have seen it, I know they were in a video at one point. Honestly, I couldn't tell you when. Probably it was months ago at this point. But definitely play around with that. Why is all of my UVs being weird? All right, let's do this. World 0. Even resetting the UVs on this one is not liking it. Oh well. It'll be more of an issue when I actually go through and slap textures on this. But yeah, so was doing that, but I also wanted to fix the ramp down into like the basement level. I had not been a fan of how I did that for a while now, and just hadn't touched this this building in forever. There is a lot of really sloppily laid out edge loops on this building. This is also before I kind of developed some better practices with ProBuilder based off of how it likes to not let you I guess I can leave it there. But it doesn't like to let you delete edge loops, which seems like such a basic bit of functionality to a 3D modeler, but whatever. Okay. So Got that, man. Alright. I'm gonna have to go through real quick and clean up these materials that are all over the place. So let's fly around a little bit and look for walls that are all broken up. Oop, there's one. Since I'm not thinking about these as necessarily rooms and potentially more of encounter space, maybe I'll make this more in the middle again. So you already got some ruffians that hang out back here, but alright. And let's select this loop. Oh, I kind of selected it. Alright, and we will extrude that. Alright. And let's take a look at the front. Let's see. Ozian person? I think that I probably butchered that. I apologize. But thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Try to see what how I want to handle this. Doesn't help that I keep occluding into the walls. Definitely want windows up here. I was debating doing like a balcony or something on this one. Oops, and it sounds like yes, I'm still watching. Oops. Okay, so we've got a room down here. When I was originally thinking about this potentially being a guild hall, I had originally started thinking about making this a like an area with market stalls off the side of it, but if we're doing this as an encounter space, I think I'm not going to do that. And this room can be large, I guess. Maybe windows on the bottom floor. Let's bring this down. here. And then I can move this one up. Actually, let's just merge these and then just move that up. Alright, we'll go to there, and we'll make a triangle there. And do a window like right there. Hey, Sakosh, it's been a while. How you been? Hey, long time since catch live. Yeah, it's been a minute for sure. How have you been? Do I want this to overlap? Already dozing off there, Big Al. I can feel that. I'm a little low energy myself tonight. You know what? Let's move this. Again, these signs are super temporary, but until we get like proper signs designed, it at least gives us something for people to where is my inspector? Gives everyone something to kind of like navigate around if they aren't aware of where things are. Twilight Harbor. There we go. We'll group those. Bedtime for you, Big Al? Alright, man. Take care. Have a good one. Let's see. Yeah, I'm in a bad time zone for watching live. Been watching on YouTube, so all good. Oh, good. Glad you're able to at least catch up. Or, stay caught up. But that is the nice thing about us having the YouTube VODs, is you guys can actually catch up at your own leisure. You don't have to worry about them like the VODs here on Twitch timing out after what, 30 days, 60 days, something like that. Yeah, the VOD save you. Definitely what they're there for. Alright, let's see. Move this over. Let's delete this space. And that. And I already extruded this, so let's see. I've seen you been doing or I've seen you doing this months ago. This will no doubt take a ton of time. Why not buy some assets? We one, the style that we're going for, there's not a lot of assets out there for that, and we want to try we're using this as kind of a testing ground for how we want to approach cities. Now, this is one of the larger cities. Like, I've said this before on stream, and on yeah, I've said this before on stream, but we're starting with one of our largest cities, and we're trying to do more with the cities than typically is done. So we're kind of using it as a, you know, does this work? Do we want to do this again at some point? Or is this kind of like, okay, we bit off a ton with this, and we will take that into account for the next city, and then, you know, maybe Night Harbor ends up being the largest city. We do have plans for 2 other larger cities. I believe it's 2 more. But that'll kind of be dependent on, again, how Night Harbor goes. And now with 2 environment artists, it's doubling the progress, which is definitely awesome. Because even when my schedule doesn't allow me to do as much work on M&M as I'd like in a week or something like that, it's nice to be able to see the zone still being worked on and still getting further. All right. But also, you know, some of these structures I'm coming back to and doing more work on them. My initial plan was to go to Sageside next, but for testing purposes, we wanted to kind of dress up the marketplace a little bit more so that it would be like a little bit more of a visual focus as opposed to a bunch of gray box areas. So I've been throwing some materials and stuff down. And just trying to make it look a little bit more refined. But the next place I'll be going will be our Sageside district. And then we'll actually be pretty... After Sageside and the docks are done, all of the, like, infrastructure for classes will be in the game. We'll still have to do, you know, an actual pass on some of the housing stuff and some of the 3rd tier and the ziggurat, and then the Benz, which the Benz is more of a combat dungeon, like an exterior dungeon, but it's in a city, like a city dungeon. So okay. Let's see. Do I want this door straight? Or do I really want that door over here? And then I built it there for no reason. You had me at City Dungeon. Well, we'll definitely have you covered there. And eventually, you know, I did some work, so there's some roads and stuff kind of roughly done on the ground now. Not 100% how I want it, but it's better than it was. But some of these roads will get replaced with, you know, there'll be holes and stuff, and you'll be looking down in the ruins and stuff underneath the city, which will be another like a dungeon space. So we'll have all sorts of fun stuff like that eventually. But the over cities right now the priority. Dungeons and Dungeons everywhere. That's the idea. Okay. Do we want to do this here? I was kind of thinking about, I wanted to do this kind of stepped pattern, but invert it. Kind of feel like I might want to do that here on this one. And I feel like this will eventually need some arches underneath it. Oop, hold on. I thought I was snapping at 25 at point 25, but I was at point 125. There we go. You know what? I'm not going to build those. I think I'm just going to, for now anyways, duplicate this one. I did duplicate that, right? Nope. Oh, we're good. I'm like, uh-oh, it's not there. But we have calling in now, so like when the camera's inside stuff, when you're flying around in the city, occasionally you'll start calling out and stuff. Do I like that there? That doesn't look too bad. Oh, it just doesn't work. Off by like 0.5 meters, but also that should probably be more like that. Which I could just shift the door. Sorry, this is more of a me kind of playing around with the geo as opposed to having like a solid plan. I do like it having the arches though. So let's hit the right button. Oops, come on. Sword. Okay. Let's see, can I? No, my scale's not right, which makes that a little annoying. Alright, let's raise transform. Actually, let's set the height of these. Like so. I still need to try. I need to triangulate the other backside of these as well. But let's see if I can get the scale better. Set the pivot. Use the pivot. Hypothetically speaking, if you were to scatter around some Easter eggs, paying homage to other games, what would they be from? Other games that I've played. Well, I mean, I think the project itself has a slight homage to a lot of just the old school MMOs. Come on. It's just off. Let me turn off snapping. But if I was paying homage to other games, man, that's a tough one. Probably some Final Fantasy, if not directly by me. I know Goblin's a pretty big fan. And I'm sure would love to slip some sort of reference in somewhere. Potentially Lord of the Rings Online. I really did like that game at one point. It was kind of my home after EverQuest. Well, EverQuest after a pit stop at Vanguard for a little bit. But then all of my MMO playing friends were not playing Vanguard, so I was not playing Vanguard. And then, yeah, kind of hopped into Lotro, which I occasionally hop back in because it's free, and I had a ton of the, well, it's mostly free. I had a ton of the leftover, like, store points, so I just bought a bunch of the quest packs so I could keep, like, seeing some of the content that had come out since I had retired. I loved the way I loved that every element of the UI in Lotro had monetization on it. Crazy how they started milking it. Yeah, it's a very different game from when it came out. When it came out, it didn't have a cash shop or anything like that. It was actually for the, like, I don't know if I would even call it modern era anymore, but for that era of games, it was one of the more difficult and had a much more mature like player base. But man, did it have awful itemization. That whole game was not itemized well. If I'm gonna do this, I need to move the road. But man, what other games would I um do reference to? Um, maybe Baldur's Gate, Fable, um, tough question. My brain's like completely going blank. So, this one. And then a lot of the other games that I like and stuff like that, probably wouldn't wouldn't work reference wise in some of this in some manner. Let's just merge this one. Okay. Now the reason I'm doing this is so I can merge this geo to that geo, and it will get rid of any seam on the texture. Because right now, if I were to throw that material down, even with the same vertex color, I'd probably get some sort of seam. Yeah. Maybe if I threw these, hold on. Maybe if I did, no, that's world space. That's world space. Yeah. I zero out the world space on this. Maybe it lines up. Sometimes it does. Hey, it does. I don't actually need to weld it. We'll leave that. But I'm still gonna line this stuff up just in case later when I move stuff around I do need to weld it. Sometimes the world space stuff on Pro Builder does not work like you would want it to. Okay, so we'll do that, and we will delete the faces we don't need. And we will collapse those ones. I played, let's see, I played a bit but too late, and that money grabbing turned me off, but the core game behaved. Yeah, the game itself was not bad. When Warner Brothers bought it, it started going downhill pretty quickly. At least in my opinion. Like I said, I still hop on it occasionally because I had a ton of free points from when I was subscribed. And I was able to buy those like quest packs and stuff like that without really spending any money. But that's literally the only reason why. But man, that game had some, like, one of the best things, which I would, granted we don't have a mini map in our game, but one of the best world building things in an MMO, I thought, was the Old Forest when it originally like released, because it was all like every mob in it was a signature or an elite or champion or whatever the heck they called the ones you couldn't solo, or you could solo but you couldn't have anything else attacking you, but it was super densely packed in terms of like population, so it was really scary place to like run around even with like a couple people. And then to fit the lore, The layout was a maze to some degree, but they did a really cool thing and just deactivated the mini maps, and you couldn't, if you hit the map and opened it up, it was just like a general like picture of that said Old Forest, but it didn't give you any idea of what the paths were or anything. So when you walked in there, you couldn't rely on the map. You had to like memorize it, and it was easy to get lost, which is you know, what the hobbits all talk about, it being, you know, a really kind of scary place that you could get lost. So I always loved that they did that and made it kind of feel like the book. Now though, if you if you were to go and play the game, it is not like that at all. It is, you know, mini map, everything in there. A solo person could, you know, go in and kill without having to worry about bringing friends. But it was a really nice little touch. Like a nice little world building touch, I thought, back then. Let's see. Hey Paydays, hey Chet, hey John, how's it going? Geo's good. Excuse me. Now, if they could just disable mini-maps in all MMOs all the time, yeah, it definitely shrinks the world. And in that case, it's not only it shrinks the world, it completely kills that really awesome world building moment. That was, you know, replicating the lore. It made it scary, it made it dangerous, and now, like, if I were to log in and create a new, oops, that was not what I wanted to do, and create a new low-level character, I would not have that same experience. But it's also one of those, like, it's a shame things, because, like, anybody who didn't play it, you know, back in, like, 07 when it released, or 06, we'll never get to experience that really cool little world building nugget. All right. Actually, you know what am I doing? Whoa there, Pro Builder. Why did you extrude? What the heck? Sometimes, I swear. I collapse all of these vertices down. Fix that. And we'll try to do this again. There, that time it worked. Sometimes, like, I don't understand why it just, like, randomly extrudes other geo. So I hit the right button there. I mean, that could have been the problem there too, I guess. I could have meant to collapse it down and hit something wrong. Alright, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, that would be chaos. Not everyone is a glutton for punishment like us. That's one thing. that will make M&M special. Yeah, definitely. Although the idea of player-made maps via cartography is a pretty cool idea. Yeah, that's cool, but you also run into the EverQuest, like the modern EverQuest issue, where one, website will run around and make the map, and then you can just download the files for it, and then you just have the map. Oh yeah, John said that EQ tried that, didn't work out. Nope. I mean, it worked, but the whole map pack, exactly what John said. Not really. In short time, people had things mapped. Map packs appeared online. No one did mapping in the game. Yeah, I actually originally had started mapping in the game myself, and then everybody, it was like Map Fiend or whatever. Is that it? I think it's Map Fiend. Anyways, it was there was a map site. You could just go down and download the pack. You could go there and download the pack and have all of the maps. So basically, it was mini maps and normal gaming maps with this extra step in the end. Can I get away with doing something here? Let's see. Maybe just put like a little nook. A little happy nook. What if it was an in-game item, more like the maps from Minecraft, minus the GPS coordinates. I think it's fine line between making things challenging for fun and making things challenging for the sake of being challenging. No, I agree there too. There's a line, and I think part of it, when you're designing it, is just remembering to ask yourself, is this challenging for the sake of fun, or is this just challenging for the sake of, punching the player's face in, that type of thing. Let's double check. I don't remember if this has already been this place has already been populated or not. So I'm loading up the database spawn points right now. Sorry, it takes a minute normally. It usually takes a second or two longer when I'm streaming. Okay, doesn't look like there's any NPCs here. There's just the ruffians out back. Okay. I almost feel like I want to build a small, like, platform or something in here, but I'm gonna put that off for now. Okay. This is all right. Let's see, is there any more areas that I want to do windows? Let me close this because I've learned having the spawn window open and attempting to model can lead to frustration. Because it tends to like want to select the spawn points. Let's fix this geo. There we go. I said geo, but I meant UVs. Yes, it's open right there. Oh, YouTube is being extra annoying with the "Are you watching" stuff today. Let's see. And then there's things that sound cool on paper, but in practice, just annoying hindrance that impacts the enjoyment of playing, or worse. Yeah, there's definitely those types of things. Definitely why you want to test stuff out. I know one of the things that we're playing with and going into it with the idea that it may be one of those things where it just becomes an unnecessary hindrance and it's not fun, is the spell books and the spells being scribed into your book and the book staying on your corpse and stuff like that. So there'll be definitely some places where we'll be playing around with stuff and having to look at it is is this fun? Does this work? Okay, yes, it does. We'll keep it, and if not, you just take it out. And I believe Elise said that it's one of those things that's easy to take out. It'll probably be easy to take out once we have it in, if we decided we don't want it or we want to make an edit to it, type of a thing. But I will take his word for that because I am not a programmer. Thankfully for the rest, thankfully for the game, I am not a programmer. Do I put another window there? I really don't think I do. I don't think I want a window here either. I suppose I could put one there. This is going to be more of an encounter space, though. I think I'm going to hold off on putting windows everywhere just in case we do end up making this an encounter space, and then that's going to... and it causes any weird, like, aggro issues through walls or stuff like that. Granted, like, over here, if these are, guards looking down on the roads, well, the guard, like, we might, I don't know if we'd have to have a flag or something for them to not chase people down. That would be pretty funny. You walk in here and you're not faction up with this faction. You just get lit up walking into the market. Gotta take the other entrance. Let's see. That's safe. Good call. Good call. Very true. That can happen very easily as far as things like trade skills are concerned. Yeah, I think trade skills is another area where that can easily, you get over complex or something on it. I have mixed feelings on that. A bit on Discord, but losing your spell book is on par with losing your gear, items to stay on corpse in an aspect. It's fair, but at the same time, it's all a caster has in spells. Yeah, I'm very much in a similar boat. Like it evens the playing field to a degree, but there's all sorts of implications that can come from it, and you know, how does that make corpse runs if you don't have buffs? You know, so there's all sorts of questions and stuff that will stem from that specific design decision when we're playing around with it and seeing how that mechanic works. Okay, so let's play with this building now. Do a window off of here. But I'm sure we'll be playing around with a lot of the more experimental mechanics as we get to them. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. I think I can fix that with the UV tools, though, so we'll hold off a second on worrying about that. Yep. Backup spellbook for me becomes a mechanic that's more annoying than anything else. I prefer a can-tip system after X number of levels. Yeah, I think we've mentioned potentially going that route with like can-tips. I could see that helping, because yeah, you end up with that you know, secondary set of spells or spell books and stuff like that, which could, you know, could be cool, but at the same time could end up just being kind of one of those hindrances that ends up just being more annoying or not. But it'll be interesting once we kind of start experimenting with that, how everything ends up landing. One of the cool parts about us being so open with development also is that, like, you know, we'll be able to get real-time feedback, not only from the team but also from the community as we start playing around with it. don't know if I ever reset the UVs on this. Let's try doing that. And that broke this one. I don't know why this one's breaking. And it's so weird that it wants to be that way. Is there like a weird... Oh, okay. Apparently that one extra vertice... Was that a non... No, it was a triangle. It wasn't a non-gon. Weird. Anyways. Back to chat, because I'm starting to pay attention. Let's see. Melee can still fight. Tanks can still tank. Monks in particular still have many tools a caster has. Yeah. There's definitely that type of thing. I think us leaning into cantips would be kind of cool. Obviously, it's not my calls per se, but I think cantips are awesome. Lawful, hey, Paytas, I usually never catch these streams, but have been following Eminem for quite a time. Well, I'm glad you're able to catch one. We'll be back. We'll back up spell book. With a backup spell book, if I could read, it potentially means more time to go get the backup. Not all dungeons will be near banks. Yeah, exactly. That could end up being an extra hindrance there for sure. Hold on. This... I feel like it needs to be down more. Maybe this just needs to be flat. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay. Let's see. So is this how magic gets made, huh? Yep. This is how everything, well, environment-wise, gets made. Do I want? Do I want a window there? I don't know if I want a window on this side or not. This side, I think I do. Oh, it's this side too. Okay, that is... Let's just merge this over here. Oops. And we'll... I may end up just merging. Actually, you know what? Let's just merge that down. Oops. Alright, so we will... give ourselves... I don't know if I like the square window. Maybe I'll try to keep it square. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Do let's get this. Hold on, that is weird. There we go. To say, like, I was looking at a square with the count, and I'm like, that square is a little pinched. I love when ProBuilder just doesn't work the way you want it to. Oh, come on. I reset it and then it just breaks. Let's try this. Reset. 0 offset. 0 that. Still broken. Yeah, it's just one of those funky things that ProBuilder does, I guess. Which makes measuring this way more difficult. Anyways. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, it's not gonna be quite perfect. So when ProBuilder's funky like that, I'll just divide. I'll just bridge it and then redivide it because it puts the edge loop right in the center of the face. So now I know that is the center right there, and I can just snap this stuff back together. The hell? Weird. It looks like I had bumped that edge loop at some point and actually bowed that wall, which explains why it was acting so weird. So that also helped me diagnose that problem. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe the role known spells versus prepared spells in a book could, excuse me, could be different. Spells in book could be cast or memmed onto spell gems. Could be done more quickly when done from a spell book than from one memorized without having a book. Oh, sorry, my eyelash is like curling in on my eye and making my eye all blurry. That way spells could be accessed without the book, but the book would still be valuable to keep around. I also at one point mentioned maybe the books themselves have stats that augment the spells that are memmed in or like written into them, so that maybe you still have the spells when you're dead, but the bonuses you gained from the book, whether it's like spell haste or you know, like a minor increase in power or something like that. So that the books themselves have some sort of statistic thing. Because I can't remember when I meant. I think that similar ideas had already been floated when I mentioned that, because that was like a year ago when I initially got on the team that I mentioned that. Make a root green Loda is cool. Or more powerful with the spell. Might be another. Oh yeah, yes, similar idea. For sure. Would make spell books important while still giving bookless mages options when they need to revive their or retrieve their corpses. Could be a whole another avenue of crafting better spell books for stronger effects. Yeah, I could see that honestly working pretty well. Again, I don't know if I don't think that's probably the first thing we'll play with, but it's definitely something I thought of, floated around the idea. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it was already had already been kind of discussed before I had joined. But I could see that. Sorry, the walls UVs are still acting weird. And it's distracting me as I'm trying to speak and think. But anyways, I could see that being a way of making it beneficial to have your spellbook, making it an item that, you know, has some value, making it beneficial to even potentially have a second spellbook in your bank, but also doesn't completely, you know, make it. What is going on? Hold on a second. Why is this? Sorry, my brain is not going to let me speak and think at the same time. But yeah, I think it could definitely work pretty well that way, where the books have value, and there's definitely a benefit to having them and having a backup book, but you don't end up being completely crippled as a caster on a corpse run or a group / guild. Actually, I didn't want to move that sideways. Okay. Everything is actually following an edge. I don't know how I got that so not on the proper axis or the proper alignment. There we go. Oops. One of those cases where it was actually me that fucked up and not Pro Builder. So it does happen. But I'm not sure how I got it so off the off that grid. More than likely, it was probably one of those things where I bumped something while I was working on something else and never noticed it. But I also didn't push it that far off axis, so it wasn't like visually like, you know, oh, that's obviously not on the grid. Get this off by like 1/25. Let's see. Could be another avenue. Bookbinding and cartography for sure. Specialized spell books for specialized bonuses. Yeah, that could be pretty cool. Pretty sure Paytas and I may be sharing a brain. It sounds like it, yeah. I definitely think that what you're saying and what I'm slowly catching up and reading are very similar. And I'll be interested to see, like, when we do get to playing around with the spell books, if we try that, how it actually ends up feeling. But my instinct tells me that it should that should feel pretty good. Again, I don't play casters, like pure casters, all that much. Like occasionally I do a shaman or a necro, or in Lotro I played a runekeeper as an alt, but all right. So, almost done with the. I love when it does that. Almost done with this building. I think up here probably needs something. Yeah, we'll do one right here. Let's see. I'd love to see the spell books hanging from belts. I believe when Zukin made the backpacks, was there a spell book on there? I know there was a scroll. Let's take a look. Items, attachments. Yep, spellbook right there. So we have at least one spellbook. I don't know if it's actually hooked up in data and actually like something you can see in game, but there is a spellbook. And eventually it will be hooked up if it's not already. Why is there? It's funny because as I go back to these old places that I haven't been in a while, like I can see things that I used to do that I don't do anymore, and then I look at it and I'm like, why did I used to do it this way? But it's also because I've just over time learned to work around the way that ProBuilder does things, to more easily like clean stuff up. It's like this whole edge here, I really should have just deleted this face before I put that edge to do that extrusion. But I didn't, and now I've got this extra edge that I wish I could just delete. But So I'm going to finish this building, and then that will be the end of the stream for today. And then hopefully I will be able to finish off that one other smaller building, and then we'll see where I'm at. So if I'm able to finish this arch tomorrow, which maybe, we'll see. If that's done, then we might start working on cleaning up the flow for Sage Side next stream. Where was I? I was right here. And if not, I might be working on that arch. Or the materials for the arch, or something like that. There's a whole bunch of the weird stuff, and I'm like, why did I do it that way? That one, I'm gonna have to... Oops. So maybe I as well just collapse that into one. Alright. And I'm going to delete that. Just want to make sure I don't have a weird face on the inside of this. I do not. But let's... Hold on. Is this two different? Oh yeah, that's two different pieces. I probably don't need to merge that one down there. Whatever. I'll leave it. One less triangle is still more optimized than having one more triangle. Okay, so it's a very deep thought there. I guess that doesn't need a window there, because that'd be like two windows in that hallway. That's a little weird. It's excessive. It's a bright hallway. Use a window right here. This will be the last window of the night. And then I'll get caught up on chat, because I think I'm seeing you guys talking out of the corner of my eye. That or my chatbot spamming you guys. Or it could be both. Oops, that is higher than I wanted that to be. Like there, I thought I hit the wrong button. Let's clean this up. Stop. Almost looked like there was two edges there for a second. There we go. It's a little bit better. Cool. I think I'm gonna play around with that roof again, but I'm not. Like I said, I'm gonna end up calling the stream because I gotta get going. And then I'll finish up this, and then we'll work on that. Obviously, there's still more stuff in this area that needs to get cleaned up. Like this whole temple needs to get rebuilt. These small houses need to kind of be refined more. These areas need to be refined more, but priority-wise, I think coming over here to Sage Side is definitely more important, specifically because we have classes that will actually be like starting, or maybe not spawning, but their trainers and stuff will be over here. And also right now, I don't even think, yeah, right now, if anybody, I think right now the wizards and elementalists and spellblade and stuff, I think their people start here, and I don't think you can actually get to their trainers. So people have not been playing those recently. That or they've just been using /go-to, which would totally fix that issue. But yeah, this whole area needs to get a little bit more refined. I had duplicated this side over here and erased what originally had been here to give a little bit more of a footprint to the third tier, because it was feeling a little small when I was playing around with this stuff. I was quickly running out of area, and then yeah, so excuse me. But yeah, needed to kind of play around with that a little bit. So that was it. Let me get caught up on chat, and then we'll call it a night. Spellbook. Casters with 4 spellbooks on their belt. No, that's a badass. Nice. In D&D casting, between divine and arcane's spellcasters was handled differently. Has this been discussed in M&M? We've talked about regions and stuff like that. We haven't actually like dove into actually like refining how any mechanics could be different between those. But I have a feeling that'll be something we'll do at some point. We'll kind of, as we dive deeper into like regions and stuff. I'm surprised how large Night Harbor is. Yes, Night Harbor is very large. Very, very large. So the way I look at Night Harbor is it's actually multiple zones. So you've got your newbie yard out here. you know, that goes back to Wormsbane, which is kind of hidden in a tunnel over there. The garrison, which is mostly blocked out. There's still a couple areas. But when we get the factions all set up, we've been talking about this almost being like a dungeon to some degree. And there's going to be more stuff underneath it in terms of like tunnels and stuff like that. So there might be some more going on in here as we add population and stuff like that. Then you've got, you know, the Travelers Ward and the Market District, or like Market District. I think if I remember, I wish I had the total count. The Market District alone has more buildings in it than all of the Freeport zones together. Just to, like, the classic Freeport zones, just to kind of give an idea. Granted, you know, it's more compact into one little space. Oh, there's small race sections. There's a little gnome halfling scale structure, and here's another one over here. So I'm throwing some small structures around as oh my god, as I stutter, as I go around. And then I don't know, I was playing around with this one. I don't know if I like it or not, but I was doing something that was just kind of different. I don't know if this will be something we'll use in another city. It feels almost like it could, if it was a little sharper, it feels like it could maybe be like a dark elf feel to it. But I do want to kind of add in some other architectural elements that kind of set it out. So maybe this ends up being, you know, a store that's run by a you know, like a deep race or something like that. Let's see. Well, yeah, I was comparing to Classic Freeport. Yeah, exactly. I can't remember the exact count of how many buildings I have here or how many buildings were in Freeport, but when I counted them, this little area had more. And then, you know, there's a whole nother area over here. You've got the Necropolis area, which, you know, is super rough in terms of like these placeholders for where tomb facades are going to go. But then, you know, you've got the Shadow Knight Guild, the Shadow Knight Necro Guild over there. You've got the whole little market area over here, and there's an inn. There's gonna be a tavern, which I don't know if I'm gonna put the tavern in here or I'll put it like over to the side. So yeah, there's the whole Necropolis area. There's the park area, the docks area. Go way over here. There's a super rough lighthouse, as I almost completely forgot what those things were called. It's getting to that point of the night. Then you got the Bends over here, which is again kind of more of an outdoor city dungeon. You've got there's going to be stuff going on under here eventually. You know, city stuff over here. Eventually you'll be able to go into here. But that'll be a different zone. Then you've got the Sage Side over here. You got the Northern Newbie Yard over here, which links up to the Necropolis. So there's a lot going on. And then eventually there's going to be areas underneath the city where there's ruins of like the civilization that built the Necropolis areas. There's this temple complex over here that will, it's super just gigantic open space. It'll be more designed eventually. And it looks like I messed this up, so I'll have to fix that at some point. Yeah, I guess I can just fix that right now. So yeah, this temple will have stuff going on in it. There'll be, you know, dungeons and stuff eventually coming off of stuff. Whether all that stuff ends up getting in before launch or stuff that we, you know, expand over time, you know, we'll make those determinations as we go. So is Night Harbor a city or will be combat areas? It is both. Yes. Yeah. So, you know, we want there to be, we want to play around with the idea of the three factions, the Valius factions, so like Thurgadon, Kale, Skyshrine, are all inside one city. So there'll be areas that are, you know, certain factions. So everybody, you know, will have areas of the city that they can go to, areas of the cities they can't go to. The Bends will be more of an area where, like, it's just hostile. It's kind of like the Fisherman Wharf, kind of, you know, sketchier part of town, where, you know, there's more like cutthroats and stuff like that. But yeah, depending on what your faction is, some of the areas of the city you'll want to avoid, or, you know, just faction up with that area until, you know, they're not gonna stab you as you as you walk through the gates, that type of thing. Will there be other cities like Night Harbor, or is it intended to be a major point in the game, i.e. cities maybe smaller? There will, so for the proof of concept, it's the only city. There are other cities. Each race has a city, and there are 2 cities that are going to be that are on the larger size. They're not designed out, but they are larger. The idea is they're larger cities. Whether we get to the level of complexity that we are with Night Harbor is yet to be seen. You know, we'll take a step back. You know, by that point, we'd be in full production, hopefully. And, you know, the proof of concept will be done, figure out what we want to do for funding, that type of stuff. But, you know, we'll have scaled at that point, production. So we'll make the call, like, do we want to get to this level of complexity again? Or is Night Harbor just kind of like the big city? And then the other cities are large, but they're not Night Harbor large. So we'll see when we get there. I'll avoid the gnome section because gnomes. The gnome section, I'm not gonna lie, as much as I like punting gnomes, the idea for the gnome section is pretty cool. It'll be an interesting design challenge if we end up going with the initial idea. But that's all I'm gonna say. You're not getting me to spill the beans. But I'm gonna call it here, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If anybody is new to the project, I just put the link to the website in the chat. We are making an indie MMO RPG titled Monsters and Memories. Excuse me as I like choke on dust. And it's very influenced by that kind of first generation of MMORPGs, so like the late 90s, early 2000s, Ultima Online, EverQuest, Asheron's Call, Dark Age of Camelot, like that era. Very much is a design and aesthetic inspiration for the game. So check out that link. You can learn all sorts of stuff about the game, see videos, updates, pictures, frequently asked questions, team bios, all sorts of stuff like that. If you have any questions, please join. Feel free to join the Discord. There's I haven't checked in a week or so, but there's over 1,500 people in there. It's a fairly active community. There's always some kind of conversation going on in there. All of the devs are in Discord, so if you have any questions for us specifically, we're always happy to answer questions, or you know, just have fun and talk. Yeah, feel free to hop in there if you'd like to stay up to date with the game. That is our mailing list, so you can join that. These are the other team members that stream. So if you haven't already, throw them a follow. We also have a YouTube channel if you'd like to get caught up on past VODs. You know, all of the VODs, mine and Zukin's and Sean's and everybody's, go up there. So, yeah, good place to get caught up. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, ring the bell, all that fun stuff that helps us out with the algorithm. Basically, you know, the more of that happens on all the videos, the more the algorithm will push the content out to people that like, you know, EverQuest and Ultima Online and you know, the classic first generation MMOs. So that helps us there. We appreciate all of that. Nicodemus with 4 months. How's it going? And thank you for the support. Also, Lafel, AU, thank you for the follow. I just remembered hearing the whatchamacallit, the chime go off and forgot to actually look. So I apologize for the late reminder. But anyways, so yeah, thank you for everybody who watches on YouTube and comments and likes and follows and all that stuff. We really appreciate it. If you are watching on YouTube and you wanted to join in on the live chats, there should be a link in the description below to my Twitch channel, which is Paytas the Ranger. Just give it a click, and then follow the Twitch profile. Oh my god, my brain is shutting down as I'm speaking. But follow the channel. You'll get a notification whenever I go live. Also on Discord, you can opt into streaming alerts, and when any team member goes live, you'll get a notification there as well. Thank you to all my subscribers. I appreciate the support, guys. I will see you guys at my next stream, which will be on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I have Monday streams, which you guys are watching, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you guys. I will catch you all later.